it was a session for years as the State Council yesterday held its valedictory session at the new Governor Gospel Akpabio presiding. Chief Akpabio paid tribute to his wife Ekaetu Norma for the shared board which has built houses for widows and past governors and serving and past commissioners, as well as special advisors who work to offer services to the state through the Executive Council. Edemesai again reports.
Chief of Administration high in areas of provision of economic enablers, human capacity building, empowerment of the citizenry, provision of infrastructure and life-touching projects, said he is leaving the Executive Council a fulfilled son of Akwa Ibom, since he is leaving the state far better than he met it in 2007.
Never in the history of governance in Nigeria has the Executive Council achieved as much as the one in Akwa Ibom. We are not blowing our trumpets, but I know that we are very mindful of all the MDG goals, Millennium Development Goals, and we pursue those goals assiduously. Today we can say that we have reduced poverty very seriously in the state.
Citing what he termed economic enablers put in place by his administration, Governor Akpabio listed completion of the independent power plant in Ikorobasi, the gas processing plant in Esreket, the quantum energy methanol plant in Ibono, and the cassava to starch processing, among others, as achievements of his government, while noting that civilizations have always been defined by the nature of infrastructure. Chief Akpabio said his administration has changed the aesthetics of Uyo and other urban cities in the state through urban renewal drive, and also cited the Hilton Hotel at the Tropicana and the 4 Points by Sheraton in Ikorokwene among the achievements in the area of tourism. He said throughout his tenure, the state has had cause to thank God because it has not witnessed a single natural disaster or mass deaths.
So I would advise you incoming leaders to ignore certain criticisms, particularly those ones that are meant to bring you down, and focus on service delivery so that they can also concomitantly change the lives of their people as we have done in the Bible. And so to all of you, I will say farewell, and may God lead you in your future vocations, and may our path politically continue to cross in Jesus' name.
In her remarks, the State Deputy Governor, Noble Lady Valerie Ebe, applauded the wife of the governor, Mrs. Ekaetu Norma Akpabio, whom she described as a queen for changing the lives and status of women in the state.
That wherever you go, wherever your children go, wherever your wife is, the prayers of the women of Akwa Ibom State will follow. You have done well. The history of Akwa Ibom State has changed. The life of the people has changed.
In his eulogy, the Commissioner for Works, Mr. Donitum, who saw Governor Akpabio as a boss, leader, and game changer, registered that inclusion, leadership by example, courage and sincerity, and striving to keep to promises have been the guiding spirit and style of Governor Akpabio. Mr. Etam noted that under Governor Akpabio's leadership, Akwa Ibom has taken a great leap into the future, and thanked the governor for making the ESCO members part of history and attainments of the state, while noting that the governor's leadership style is not persecutory. Mr. Etam prayed God to bless Governor Akpabio's generations for being kind to the common man.
You came to serve. You did not come to do any other thing but to serve. I do not know of anybody who has entered this state, whether you are from here or not from here, that has come before and has come again to say Akwa Ibom is the same. Akwa Ibom is not the same. Akwa Ibom has taken a great leap into the future.
Asai report.
As the administration of Chief Gospel Akpabio prepares to hand over to the next government on May 12th, a cross-section of Akwa Ibom people have spoken performance in the education sector. Capture the people's reactions in the following reports.
Uyo Edidiongita applauded the state government for providing an enabling environment for tertiary institutions to operate in the state. He reasoned that with their development, the state has made educational advancements.
When we are looking at what is happening right now, more private universities are springing up. It's not bad, but
other respondents, including Mr. Kan Otun, gave credence to the state governor for what they called his love for the state by equipping schools with infrastructure that have given them a first lift, as well as provide a conducive environment for learning.
I think if there is constitutional provision for third term, I would like Governor Godswill Akpabio to remain in Akwa Ibom State for third term because of educational development in the state. Let me take you back. There was a time in this state that students were sitting on the floor. The students, after they might have struggled from JS 1, 2, 3, SS1, 2, at the end of SS3, they had to drop out because they didn't have that token amount to pay for their school examination fee.
I spent about 18 years in my primary and secondary school. I mean, an educational period that's supposed to be 12 years because we did not have this kind of government. You look at the villages and the kind of classroom they have there. So it really means that this government has a vision for the people of Akwa Ibom.
To Dr. Wemakman, a lecturer with the University of Uyo, the free and compulsory education policy instituted by the state government and backed up by monitoring teams to ensure its compliance has added pep as well as stand tall among the achievements recorded by the state government. Although according to him, the policy was not without some setbacks, the policy has elevated the education level of Akwa Ibom people.
At a point, those who were of school age and were not going to school were being pursued in the streets and taken to school forcefully. That's why it is compulsory. And I also know that during school hours, students who were found wandering and in their uniforms were caught and their schools identified and they were taken back to their schools. So these are some of those things that the administration did which helped to boost the education sector.
But what are the expectations of the people in the education sector as the new administration gets set to take over? The respondents highlighted their expectations.
So that these cases of strikes and non-payment of salaries will not be a reoccurring event.
What I would advise the incoming government to do is to mold and to build on where the outgoing governor stopped. See how we can fix the school with the modern computer system.
They need more facilities, they need more personnel, and you need this so that the courses that you are running could earn the accreditation of the necessary accrediting agencies, without which the certificates that are issued, if at all they will be issued, will be substandard and so not respected.
The government has not thought much in this field. They not consider the students. Like there are so many governments where you don't have they don't pay bus fee for quite a long time.
Patience John reporting.
5 communities in Akwa Ibom State have benefited from NNPC to TAO Exploration Nigeria Limited Community Relations Project. The project includes school blocks, water and health facilities. Idara Bongse has more.
Communities where the projects are located include Oblietak in the Konologu government area, where a classroom block at Christian school is built, Archbishop Ade Toloye School, Ntrotun, Ntrubium local government area has a 6-classroom block, while Community Secondary Grammar School, Ebugo, has its library and a 6-classroom block constructed. Even a local government area has 2 projects, a 6-classroom block at Secondary Grammar School, Mbanak, and a solar water scheme at the terminal, while Atana Fort in Uyo local government area has a health center. Members of the communities where these projects are located express satisfaction with the donor agency, NMPC Total Exploration and Production, saying that the projects will improve upon the lives of the people and add value to the aesthetics of the communities.
We appreciate what F Petroleum Joint Venture NMPC are doing in our community.
We community is NPC I
also thank the Total Company for constructing of these library blocks.
I thank the Total Company for constructing this building. I say that may the Almighty God continue to bless them.
Handing over the health center at Atana Fort to the community, the manager, Joint Venture Offshore Community Affairs, Total Exploration and Production, Mr. Onome Onwawudu, said the health center was executed to satisfy the health needs of the Atana Fort community. Mr. Onwawudu commended Atana Fort community for donating the land and providing a conducive environment for the project to be completed on schedule. The health facility, which consists of borehole, guest house, is to boost primary health care in the area.
The child is a corporate organization who has the interest of the people at heart, and today we are commissioning to the glory of God this completed health center.
The Commissioner for Environment, Prince Enobongowa, an indigenous of Atana Fort, said the project will serve as a legacy and a contact point between Total E and P and Atana Fort community. He expressed the hope that government will post qualified medical personnel to man the facility and implore the community to guard against vandalism.
And we believe that this initiative is commendable and a demonstration of the good corporate social responsibility of Total to the state. Total has done a lot in Akwa Ibom State, in different local government areas, especially where the host communities where they are producing. And I think Total will continue to be commended for that.
Inaugurating the health center, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Meba Sibasi, thanked Total E and P for complementing government efforts in bringing healthcare facilities close to the people. Dr. Basi said the Akwa Ibom State government is committed to making healthcare available and affordable to the people.
And I want to state emphatically that this is the best finished health center in this state. I have assured that almost immediately it's up. Keep this place open while we work out the modalities, with the local government service commission of posting of more staff here.
The people of Atana Fort expressed their joy this way.
Thank the government of this state for handing this health center to Atana Fort people to man it and to operate. Let God bless you people in Jesus' name. Total Nigeria, we thank you very much.
Commission and you mira the three boy, I said, I don't want to give him on you would be in my banga. And I'm going to come so you don't tell me for you. It is not any book, any woman, you couldn't show him. Imani who he paid it, he back, he's on my time.
Idara Bongse reporting.
On tipping nature's balance in Nigeria, climate change is on the Onyema Ogochukwu campus of the UU today, 21st May 2015. The lecture, which will be delivered by an atmosphere scientist, Dr. Nsekarabasi Saras Omo, will be heard by the Director of International Programs with the Vice of the University Professor Kamfarepo as the chief host. The public lecture, which is put together by the Directorate of International, will be held by 11 o'clock in the morning. This is AKBC 45 News. More news after the break. It's so good to be back. 23/2015 has been fixed for the hearing on a petition filed by Mr. Umana Kunomana of the before the Governorship Election Tribunal sitting in Uyu. Mr. Umana is chair of the Governor, Mr. Dom Gabriel of the PD in the gubernatorial election in April 11, 2015. Of the tribunal was adjourned to Saturday following complaint by the lead counsel, the second respondent in the petition by Dekunle Oyesoye SAN, that the application by the petitioner has not been served. For the mandatory 3 days to enable him to respond on behalf of his claims. Mr. Oyesoye also asked that certain paragraphs of the petitioner's application be exposed, responding to the submissions and observations raised by of the various parties. The chairman of the tribunal, Justice Godi Aniwoyu, fixed midday of Saturday for hearing on the motions filed before the tribunal. Justice Anonihu also directed the secretary of the tribunal to send all counsels for their responses where necessary, reminding all the tribunal will work within the 180 days time frame provided by the law. Chief Victor Yanam is leading 8 others to represent Mr. Umana and the APC, while Paul is leading in the defense of the first respondent, Mr. Dom Emmanuel. The second respondent, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is represented by Mr. Dekunle Oyesoye and Emmanuel Akpan. The third respondent, INEC, and the fourth respondent, President Electoral Commissioner, are represented by Jacob Apong and Kobari Sigali. The Director of Public Health in the State Ministry of Health, Dr. Godwin Ebuk, has commended Consulting and Prudence Clinic, the NADC, for the interest of health of the people. Dr. Ebuk was speaking during a sensitization exercise on hypertension, HIV and AIDS prevention of mother-to-child transition organized by the agency for the people of Ikore in Ibesikwa and local government area. The event was to mark the 2015 World Hypertension Day, which is celebrated on 15 May every year. The story is here.
On hypertension, causes, treatment and prevention, described hypertension as a silent killer and enjoined the people to always visit health facilities to ascertain their blood pressure, and spoke against misconception that wishes are causes of hypertension. He told them that stress was a major factor of hypertension and mentioned some symptoms as severe headache and blood vision. He added that it can lead to stroke or outright death. Dr. Ebuk, who was represented at the occasion by Mrs. M.M. Nkom Higgins, enjoined the people to change their lifestyles to enable them live well.
Hypertension is a non-communicable disease and one of the major public health problems. It kills over 7 million people per year and 64 million disabled. So according to WHO, the normal blood pressure is 120/80. And any slight difference above or below needs prompt attention.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NDDC, Barrister Basi Danabia, in his remarks, said that one of the core mandates of NDDC is to promote good and sustainable healthcare in the region, in addition to complement the effort of the state government in providing healthcare delivery services to Niger Delta region. Danabia said that NDDC has noted the common health problems affecting the populace as hypertension and HIV/AIDS, adding that the sensitization workshop seeks to address the seriousness of hypertension. He said hypertension has caused the World Health Organization, WHO, to set a day to create awareness on this non-communicable health problem affecting the population across the world, resulting in untold disability and sometimes death. The NDDC boss was represented at the occasion by the Deputy Director of Education and Health Services, Dr. George Mwabozo, said non-recognition and treatment of these problems has resulted on death, and called on the people to regularly check their blood pressure to ascertain the condition, even as he advised them to modify their lifestyle and use appropriate medication in reducing hypertension.
One of the core mandates of NDDC is to promote good healthcare sustainability in the region, and we have over the years invested a lot of resources in this regard through people-oriented and community-based health programs. In doing this, we do not seek to compete, but to complement the efforts of other government ministries and departments that have the core functions of healthcare delivery.
At the occasion, drama sketch on the effect of hypertension, while different ways of contracting HIV/AIDS were explained, and community members were urged to know their status.
The 47th Ordinary Session of Authority of Heads of State of ECOWAS held in Accra, Ghana, had President Goodluck Jonathan in attendance. The United States Secretary of State, Mr. John Kerry, is to lead delegates to Nigeria's presidential inauguration on May 29. These and more in Channel 45 national and foreign news with Mercy Academy.
The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Adamu Muazu, has resigned. His resignation, according to him, is as a result of health issues. Alhaji Adamu Muazu had been the national chairman of the PDP for over a year now, after taking over from Alhaji Bamanka Tukur. A high court in Kano has dropped the murder charges against the Nigerian child bride, Wazila Tasiu, who was accused of using rat poison to kill a 35-year-old man, Umar Sani, whom she was forced to marry a year ago when she was 14 years old. North Korea has cancelled an invitation to the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to visit the country. South Korea is urging the North to take steps towards ending its international isolation and work together to communicate with the international community, including the United Nations, and move forward for better South and North Korean relations and peace on the Korean Peninsula. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is from South Korea and served as a foreign minister between 2004 to 2006. North Korea has given no explanation for the cancellation of the UN envoy's visits. In Israel, plans to segregate Israeli and Palestinian bus travelers in the West Bank have been suspended. The program was intended to prevent Palestinians from riding in the same buses with Israelis, as well as limit their exit to the same checkpoints which they entered Israel. Groups representing Jewish settlers have been campaigning for segregated travel for security reasons, but human rights groups have described the moves as racist. More than 3,000 Bangladeshi and Rohingya migrants who have been drifting off the coast of Thailand for weeks after being turned away from taking refuge in the country have finally been offered temporary shelter by Malaysia and Indonesia. Thailand has refused to accept any of the refugees but has offered humanitarian aid. Meanwhile, European Union migrant quota plans that was put forward to deal with the number of migrants risking their lives crossing the Mediterranean seems to be meeting deadlock. The latest rejection comes from France, as President Francois Hollande said asylum rights were different from accepting quotas of refugees. Other countries that oppose the EU's migrant quota plan are United Kingdom, Spain, Czech Republic, Poland, among several others. In Burundi, President Pierre Nkurunziza has signed a decree to postpone the country's parliamentary elections scheduled for May 26 until early June. Meanwhile, despite government's ban on protest, some Burundians are still taking to the streets to protest President Nkurunziza's third-term presidential bid.
The body of the former Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Obongo Okunwa, is to be buried on the 2nd May 2015. A statement jointly signed by the Chairman of the Central Planning Committee, Mr. Sensu Sepu, and Chairman of the City Subcommittee, Mr. Godwin Benson, indicated that Morning House opened on Monday at his country home with visit by friends and associates. A voluntary legislative session will be held in his honor at the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly in Uyo and Okanafon Local Government Council Hall at 10 o'clock in the morning. According to the program, the remains of the former would be committed to Mother Earth on Friday 22nd May after a funeral service to be conducted by the Lutheran Church of Nigeria, Ikoledong District, at the Community Secondary School field of Farabu by 10 o'clock in the morning. Consequently, the deceased Master Emmanuel Okunwa invites friends, colleagues, and associates of his late father to join the family to give him a befitting farewell. Meanwhile, the Akwa Ibom State Legislature of the 4th Assembly have announced the demise of one of their members, Obongo Okunwa, who hailed from Farabu in Okanafon local government, was a one local government and later member representing Okanafon in the State House of Assembly, where he became the Deputy Speaker. The leader was described as a transparent politician who believed in equity, justice and fair play. His contribution to the development of democracy in Akwa Ibom State, the group noted, cannot be overemphasized. The former legislators in the statement said a validation in all disease will be held today, Thursday 21st May at the House of Assembly complex at 10 o'clock in the morning. Comes up on Friday, May 20th. The first service to be conducted by the Lutheran Church of Nigeria at the Community Secondary School of Farabu by 10 o'clock in the morning. The statement invites friends and other sympathizers to attend the burial. May so rest in perfect peace. Death has been reported of an octogenarian, Madam Grace Sunday John of Attack local government area, born in 2019 to Willie Ekeruan. Madam Grace Sunday was said to be an enterprising woman who traded in traditional kitchen items in market from across the state. A very sociable and generous woman, the late Ma Nku, as she was addressed by her admirers, was said to be a Christian whose dexterity in playing the side drums in the church earned her the nickname Van Sets. Member of the Apostolic Church, she got married to a son, John Akpanete, and continued the faith until her final day. Madam Grace John, who is survived by Dr. William, Mrs. Elizabeth Apan, Pastor Daniel Sunday, among others, will be buried after a funeral service by the Apostolic Church at Eket. You can see TV news online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow at AKBC4 or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 845. And now to end the news, the main point again. It was for years as the State Executive Council yesterday held its valedictory session at the new governor's office with Governor Godswill Akpabio presiding. Jim Akpabio paid tribute to his wife, the Kaite Unoma, for the shared port, which has built houses for widows, serving past deputy governors, and serving and past commissioners, as well as advisors who were privileged to offer services to the state through the Executive Council. That's it on the news this morning. Next news bulletin is at noon. I am Jeffrey.